Mr. Woolfe, 1 minut și 30 de secunde.
1.5 minutes.
Mr. President, thank you, Minister. The first rule of any government is the protection of its people. And the protection of the people of Europe from terrorism is at least something I recognise you understand as being serious. But in order to deal with the problem of terrorism, you must at first know who is your enemy and who are your friends. You must know where they share your values and where do they come from. And this is where the analysis of the European Union is failing. Because you have to understand the problem, you have to understand where they are, and you have to understand what they're doing here. And the first part of the problem, Minister, is that in the language of yourself and of the Commissioner, and I quote from yourself, you said the vast majority of migrants are fleeing terrorism. That, quite frankly, isn't true. We know the vast majority of migrants are economic migrants. The vast majority of asylum seekers are genuinely people fleeing terrorism. That is the first part of the problem you must address. And the second part of the problem you must understand is that the open borders that you have created and are not willing to challenge, you don't know who's come in, you don't know where they are, and you don't know how they get here. And that creates the last form of terrorism, the internal terrorism that the women in Cologne and Bonn and Berlin and Sweden and all of the parts of Europe that suffered over New Year's Eve will have to face. That's your problem.
Domnule Woolfe, acceptați?
Mr. Woolfe, would you accept a blue card question? Would you accept a blue card from Mr. JAKOVČIČ?
Hvala vam lijepo, poštovani kolega, što ste prihvatili ovu plavu kartu. Waiting for translation. Okay. Thank you so much. Now it's better. Imate prijevod? No, imate prijevod.
No. Is it okay?
Is it okay? Ja bih htio, poštovani kolega, vezano za...
Thank you. Colleague.
In English, I'll try. I'm not sure that I'll be so good. But you said many things and I agree with you, but do you agree with me that the terrorism is a universal threat? Because we have terrorism also inside Europe. You know, you remember what's happened in Northern Ireland, what's happened in Germany, what's happened in Italy, and also in Norway or in other countries in Europe. It's our European problem. It's, let me say, European terrorism. We are not speaking only and just about the terrorism coming into Europe. So I think that terrorism is a universal threat for us. So, and I think that we have to combat with all types of terrorism. Do you agree with me?
Sir, may I add that your English is excellent in compared to my understanding and knowledge of your language, and I welcome that. You are quite right, sir, that terrorism is an international problem. It stretches and hurts and pains families across the globe. And yes, we have our own problems with individuals here, and we have that as a homegrown basis. But the issue that we're facing today is one of ISIS and that evil ideology that is attempting to turn man against man and woman against woman, and we have to have a solution, not just a European Union solution, but a global solution. That is the way forward and the only way that we can tackle it.